everyone, I'm Shyrine Faye Santos and I will be reporting the Treaty of Paris, Article 4 to Article 8. So a little background about the Treaty of Paris. It was signed on December 10, 1898 between the United States and Spain, which ended the Spanish-American War and significantly impacted Spain's colonial empire, while the United States gained land. It states in Article 4 that the United States made an agreement to treat Spanish ships and cargo equally with U.S. ships and cargo when entering the ports of the Philippine Island. This 10-year agreement ensures that the Spanish and American ships and goods entering and trading in the Philippines will be treated equally. The provision promotes fairness and equal treatment in trade between the U.S. and Spain by allowing Spanish ships and goods the same rights and privilege as their own. In Article 5, the treaty between the United States and Spain outlines the responsibility of sending back Spanish prisoners of war and returning their weapons. The United States agrees to bear the cost and return the soldiers. Spain agrees to evacuate the Philippines and Guam, similar to the terms of the 1898 Protocol. The article also addresses the ownership of certain items in the Philippines and Guam, including flags, war vessels, small arms, guns, livestock, and heavy ordnance. The United States has the option to purchase this material from Spain if both governments agree on satisfactory terms. The article aims to establish the agreement for the evacuation and address the ownerships and disposition of military equipment and supplies, ensuring smooth relation between the two governments. The treaty's Article 6 addresses the mutual release of prisoners and war and political detainees between Spain and the United States. The agreement was signed in response to the conflict in Cuba and the Philippines, as well as the war between Spain and the United States. Spain is responsible for the release of all prisoners of war and political detainees associated with the insurgencies in Cuba and the Philippines, while the United States is required to release all seized prisoners of war. The goal of this article is to create a mutual agreement for the safe release of prisoners of war and political detainees to their home nations. Article 7 of the Treaty of Paris establishes an agreement between the United States and Spain to disregard any national and individual claims for a settlement connected to the Cuban insurgency and conflict. Both countries will give up their claims against each other's government and citizens or subjects. The United States will handle any outstanding claims against Spain brought by its residents, ensuring a fair conclusion. This article attempts to offer both countries a new start, allowing them to focus on mending their relationship without remaining in disagreement over financial recompense. In Article 8, Spain is handing over authority in several areas to the U.S., including Cuba, Puerto Rico, the West Indies, Guam, and the Philippine Archipelago. This means that the United States will have the control over all immovable property, including buildings, wharves, barracks, forts, constructions, and public highways. This transfer, however, has no effect on the rights of other entities or individuals in these regions. This article is goal to ensure that the transfer of sovereignty does not violate the property or rights of local entities or individuals. All essential documents pertaining to sovereignty being relinquished or ceded shall be included as part of the territorial relinquishment or cession. Spain will be able to obtain copies of any documents in the archives of the islands being abandoned or ceded. The Crown of Spain and its authorities own the official archives and records of the aforementioned islands, which shall be properly kept and made available to the public.
Thank you for listening.